Greetings party peeps, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video I wanted to do a review of the most recent Slam Pro Wrestling League event that I went to last weekend in Canberra. Now I went to my first Slam show back in August and I was blown away at how good it was. So when they announced the next show on November 5th to crown the first ever Slam Tag Team Champions, I snapped up tickets to come back to the capital to check it out. The event is at the Ainslie Football Club, which is a fantastic venue. In fact, you could strap on the feed bag and go to the bistro downstairs beforehand, but the place has an awesome atmosphere. Also wanted to point out that I did pay for these tickets myself. This isn't a sponsored video or anything like that. No one's seen it or approved this before it's been published. I'm literally just a fan and I'm doing a review of a wrestling show. So the show kicked off with a bang with the Slam Championship defended first. It was the Universal Soldier Mikey Broderick defeating Caveman Ugg to retain his title in an absolute banger to start off the night. Next up, we saw the hooligan Vinnie Bronson accompanied by Josh from Hit 104.7 to take on Matt Diamond. And sadly, there was some underhand tactics from Josh and the hooligan, and that meant that Matt Diamond took the loss, and it was a win for Bronson United. Next up, we saw Rita Stone take on 𝗪𝗪𝗪 Cassidy. Now, I saw Rita at the last event, and she put on a belter against Kingsley. She's one of the most underrated female wrestlers in Australia, I reckon, and despite the mind games from Cassidy, it was Rita that got the win and continued her hot streak at Slam Pro Wrestling League. Canberra local Luke Watts was in action next as the Hope from the top rope looked to get back to his winning ways by issuing an open challenge. Unfortunately for the Hope of the top rope, it was answered with a bang by the Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles, making his Slam Pro Wrestling debut. Now both men took each other to the absolute limit, but it was Eagles that defeated Watts, but the hometown hero got the respect of the New Japan megastar in the end. Speaking of Canberra locals though, there wasn't too much love for Dan Archer, who took on the debuting Australian hero, Lee Morrow. Now Archer isn't in Slam Pro Wrestling to make friends, and he certainly didn't go easy on the debutant, and Dan Archer got the win in the end. Full disclosure, you know I'm a massive Slex fan, so when he took on Crofty, who had the full backing of the Ainslie Football Club that night, I knew this was going to be a tough one, but nonetheless, Slex did his best to silence the crowd, and we even got a glimpse of Bogan business. But on Crofty's home turf, business wasn't booming that night, and the Bogan Warrior defeated the former multi-time MCW champion. Speaking of people who have held MCW gold, Mick Moretti was in action against the elusive Super Bison. Pound for pound, Super Bison had the advantage against Moretti, but the Rapscallion has a lot of tricks under his sleeve, and in the end, Mickey Mo went and slayed the Bison. In the main event for the evening, it was two of the best tag teams in the country, with the Natural Classics taking on the Velocities to crown the first ever Slam Tag Team Champions. I don't need to tell you how good this match was because we all know how good these two teams are, but after a brutal encounter, the Natural Classics defeated the Velocities to become the inaugural Tag Team Champions in Slam Pro Wrestling. Do not take my word for it. Do yourself a favor and try and see a Slam event. I mean, I come up from Melbourne just to see it, and it's well worth the price of admission. The next event is January 14th, and we're going to see the first ever Slam Pro Wrestling League 20-man over-the-top rumble. Tickets are selling fast, so don't miss out. Do yourself a favor, get a ticket, and check out Slam Pro Wrestling League if you can.